The most obvious point of attack when we take a vertical scan through the answer choices for this question is the presence of the pronoun which in a couple of answer choices and when in E. So we just need to check for what these pronouns will be referring to, and we can notice that the which will refer back to the wolf population. So when we compare this construction with the rest of the answer choices, we can see that B and E say the size of the population and C says the number of wolves, and we can immediately realize that saying the number of wolf population would be totally inappropriate because the population will not have a number, but the population will have a size. So A and D can be eliminated. Now in E, we have the pronoun when. See, when is a pronoun of time. But if we notice the phrase in front of it, we have the population in a designated area, and population is an entity, whereas an area is a place. So the usage of the pronoun when is inappropriate. Now one might think that, okay, this might be the reference to the time when the officials are scheduled to increase the size of the wolf population, but in that case, this is not how the conjunction will be used, especially not after a comma. Because in that case, we would have something like they schedule to do this, do something when the fall season starts. So in this case, see, we're using the when actually as a conjunction because we're connecting two clauses here saying they schedule to do this when the fall season starts, and we don't need to put a comma in front of the when it is being used as a conjunction. So when we use a comma, it becomes a relative pronoun, and that would be an inappropriate usage. So E goes off as well because we don't have a time reference. Now we have come down to B and C, and this is where things get a little interesting because GMAT is actually testing for the usage of the word however. See, however is actually an adverb and can be used in certain ways. For example, we can say, I was sick. However, went to work. Now, in this case, we can notice that the however adverb serves to contrast these two clauses, the idea that I was sick and the idea that I went to work. So this adverb is modifying the clause I went to work. But there is also another adverbial usage of however. So for example, we can say, however hard it rains, I will go out. Now in this case, it's not exactly conveying a contrast, but rather used in the place of something like regardless of how hard it rains. So this whole phrase is replaced by the adverb however. And this one is just acting as an adverb to the adjective hard. So however hard, regardless of how hard it rains, I will go out. Now here's the main difference. When we use it as an adverb that modifies the whole clause and conveys a contrast, we need to split this, however, from the clause construction using commas. But on the other hand, when we're using it as an adverb that modifies the adjective, we should not split this using commas. So if we notice the construction aspects of B and C, we can see that in C, the however is not split from this clause using the commas, indicating that this might be a similar usage to the second example. But on the other hand, in B, we are using this as an adverb to convey contrast. And if we look at the meaning of the two clauses that are connected here, the officials are scheduled to try and increase the wolf population, but the size of the population will be dictated by something. So we are in fact trying to convey a contrast. So the meaning of C is inappropriate. B is the right answer.